The final gift. The transport ship's twisted metal groaned above Elira Voss as another gust of wind swept across the frozen wasteland of Velmyra. Her violet fingers trembled, not from the cold, but from the effort of maintaining her focus. Cradled against her chest, Tolu whimpered softly, the fox-like creature's luminescent blue fur dimming with each labored breath. "Stay with me, little one," she whispered, pressing her forehead against Tolu's. The connection between them flickered, a telepathic bond weakening as surely as the creature's heartbeat. Elira shifted painfully beneath the wreckage. Her right leg was pinned, and the communication device lay shattered beyond reach. The blizzard had intensified since the crash, burying them beneath layers of ice and snow. The settlement she'd fled was now nothing but ash and memory behind her. A distant explosion illuminated the night sky for a moment. Invaders still scouring the landscape for survivors. Elira knew no rescue would come. The last of her people had scattered to the winds, seeking shelter in caves and forgotten places. Tolu convulsed suddenly, his small body arching in pain. "No," Elira murmured. "I won't let you go." She placed her palm over Tolu's chest, feeling the erratic pulse beneath the fur. Among her people, the final gift was sacred, the transfer of one's life force to another. The ultimate sacrifice. An act of love that transcended death itself. Elira had performed the ritual for others as a healer, but never imagined she would offer it herself. With a deep breath, she began the ancient chant, her voice barely audible above the howling wind. Her fingertips glowed with a soft purple light as she pressed them gently against Tolu's chest. The energy flowed from her core through her arms and into the small creature. "Take what I have, little one," she whispered. "Live beyond me." Tolu's eyes opened, his gaze meeting hers. The creature understood what she offered. Their minds touched briefly, gratitude, mingling with sorrow. The metal above her creaked, threatening to collapse further. Elira ignored it, focusing only on the transfer. The cold began to recede as numbness spread through her limbs. Her vision blurred at the edges, but she smiled as Tolu's fur brightened once more. Time lost meaning in the howling storm. Her consciousness drifted between memories of Velmyra before the war. The crystalline forests, the floating gardens, the peaceful existence before strangers came from the stars with weapons and promises. Tolu stirred in her arms, stronger now, his warmth a contrast to her cooling skin. Elira's eyelids grew heavy. Yet in that moment between life and surrender, she felt something unexpected. A vibration through the snow, a rhythmic disturbance, footsteps. She tried to call out, but her voice failed her. The transfer had taken too much. Her final thought before darkness claimed her was a prayer that whoever approached would show kindness to Tolu. That her final gift would not be in vain. Through dimming eyes, she glimpsed a figure silhouetted against the storm's fury. A figure unlike any of her kind, a human against orders. Captain Riker Hale adjusted his thermal visor against the biting wind. His breath crystallized before him as he trudged through knee-deep snow. The outpost had been clear, no patrols during blizzard conditions, yet here he was, following a signal no human equipment should have detected. "Command's going to have my hide," he muttered, checking the scanner again. The frequency pulsed faintly alien in origin. His orders were explicit. Observe, report, but never engage. Not after the ceasefire, still fragile after 3 years of bloodshed. Something about this signal felt different, desperate, almost alive. His combat boots crunched through the icy crust as he crested the ridge. What lay before him stole his breath away, a Velmyran transport half buried in snow, its design elegant even in destruction. The craft had been civilian, not military. Riker approached cautiously, weapon ready. His years on the frontier had taught him caution. The scanner led him to a particular section of wreckage where metal had folded in on itself like paper. That's when he saw her. A Velmyran woman, her violet skin ghostly pale against the snow, her arms wrapped protectively around something small and blue. The scanner's signal originated from them, not the ship. "Hello?" he called out, then remembered she wouldn't understand. Switching his translator on, he tried, again. "Can you hear me?" No response. The woman lay motionless, but the creature in her arms shifted slightly. Riker knelt beside them, brushing snow from her face. Her features were delicate, almost luminous despite her pallor. The strange markings along her temples identified her as a healer, one of the peaceful caste. The blue creature turned to look at him, its eyes unnervingly intelligent. He recognized it from intelligence briefings, a telepathic companion rare even among Velmarans. "Easy." "There," he whispered, holstering his weapon. "I'm not here to harm either of you." The creature made a soft chirping sound before nuzzling against the woman's chest. Riker checked her pulse, finding it threadbare, barely there. The storm was intensifying. Every minute spent exposed decreased their chances. Command would order him to leave them. The ceasefire was conditional on non-interference. The politics were complicated. Humans were still viewed as invaders by most Velmirans. Riker stared at his comlink for a long moment, then switched it off. "To hell with orders," he muttered, beginning to clear debris carefully from the woman's trapped leg. He worked methodically despite the cold numbing his fingers. When her leg was finally free, he examined it, not broken but badly bruised. The creature watched him unblinking as he prepared an emergency thermal blanket. The woman weighed almost nothing as he lifted her into his arms. The creature clambered onto her chest, maintaining contact, his survival. Shelter was 5 kilometers away. Through terrain crawling with automated defense drones from both sides, Riker adjusted his grip, pulling the thermal blanket tighter around them. "Stay with me," he said, unsure if he was speaking to the woman, the creature, or himself. "Just stay with me." As if in response, the creature's fur glowed slightly brighter. Something warm brushed against Riker's consciousness. A feeling not his own. Gratitude. Fear. Hope. He squared his shoulders against the storm and began walking, each step deliberate. His breaths measured, the weight in his arms somehow lighter than the weight of walking away would have been. Behind them, the wreckage disappeared into the swirling white. The only evidence of his choice. The footprints, rapidly filling with fresh snow, through the blizzard. The storm raged with ancient fury as Riker pressed forward. Each step became a battle against nature itself. The woman in his arms remained motionless, save for shallow breaths that came less frequently with each passing minute. Her violet skin had taken on a concerning bluish tint. "Not much farther now," he said, though he knew she couldn't hear him. The words were more for himself. A rhythm to match his footsteps. Tolu, the blue creature, chirped weakly from within the folds of the thermal blanket. Its fur pulsed with dim light, seemingly in sync with the Velmaran woman's heartbeat. Their connection clearly transcended physical boundaries. A piercing mechanical whine cut through the howling wind. Riker dropped to one knee, sheltering the woman with his body. A patrol drone drifted through the whiteness, its sensors sweeping the area. Riker held his breath, knowing detection meant court-martial at best, death at worst. The drone hovered, nearby, its red scanning beam cutting through snowflakes. Riker's hand moved slowly toward his sidearm. A last resort he prayed wouldn't be necessary. Tolu suddenly stirred, pressing closer to the woman's chest. The creature's fur dimmed completely, as if intentionally hiding its glow. The drone completed its sweep, continuing on its programmed path, disappearing into the storm. "Smart little thing, aren't you?" Riker murmured as he stood, resuming their journey. The woman stirred in his arms, her eyelids fluttering. "Nada vos kel." She whispered words his translator couldn't catch before slipping back into unconsciousness. They crossed a frozen riverbed, the ice creaking ominously beneath them. Riker's shelter lay just beyond the ridge. A simple, emergency bunker stocked with basic supplies and medical equipment. Another drone patrol forced them to take shelter beneath an overhanging rock formation. As they waited, Riker looked down at the woman's face. Her features seemed almost sculpted, perfect in their alienness. He'd fought against her kind for years, never questioning why. Now holding her life in his hands, nothing made sense anymore. Tolu crawled up toward the woman's neck, nuzzling against her jaw. The creature then turned, fixing Riker with an unblinking stare. Without warning, something pushed against his mind, images, feelings, memories not his own. He saw a crystalline city shimmering beneath twin moons, children with violet skin playing among floating gardens. He felt overwhelming grief as those same gardens burned. He experienced the woman's, Elira's, dedication as she healed wounded from both sides of the conflict. The connection broke as suddenly as it had formed, leaving Riker gasping. The creature had shown him her life, her name, her heart, Elira. He whispered, testing the name. His translator wouldn't work on telepathic communication. The drone moved on, and they continued their journey. The bunker appeared through the curtain of snow, a simple metal structure half buried. For insulation, Riker punched in his access code, the door sliding open with a hiss of hydraulics. Inside, the temperature was barely above freezing. The emergency systems activated at their presence, lights flickering on heating elements beginning to glow. Riker placed Elira gently on the medical cot. The real work was just beginning. He activated the medical scanner, watching as it assessed her condition. Hypothermia, severe dehydration, internal bleeding. The readout blinked red warnings. "Stay with me, Elira," he said. Reaching for the emergency medical kit, Tolu watched from beside her neck, the creature's eyes never leaving Riker's hands as he prepared the treatment protocols. Outside, the storm reached its peak, the bunker walls vibrating with its force. Inside, Riker fought a different battle, against time, against death, against the absurdity of caring so deeply for someone who had been enemy just hours before. As he worked, Tolu placed a paw on his wrist. Another flash of connection, this time simpler. A single feeling transmitted directly to his consciousness, trust awakening. Warmth returned to Elira's body in painful waves. Her consciousness floated between darkness and light. Fragments of sensation pierced the void. Gentle hands upon her skin, a soft voice, speaking words she couldn't understand. The familiar weight of Tolu against her neck. Her eyes opened slowly, adjusting to the dim light of an unfamiliar place. Metal walls, humming machinery, strange symbols. The air smelled of antiseptic and something else. Something earthy and warm. Human. The memory rushed back, the crash, the final gift, the approaching figure. She tried to sit up, a gasp escaping her lips as pain lanced through her body. "Easy." A deep voice spoke the word, translated by a device into her language. "You're safe." The human appeared in her field, a vision. A tall figure with skin the color of Velmira's pale sand. His eyes reminded her of the northern forests, deep green flecked with gold. His face bore the marks of hardship. Yet his hands, as he checked the devices connected to her, were surprisingly gentle. "Who are you?" She managed her voice barely above a whisper. "Captain Riker, Hale Frontier Corps." He replied, "I found you in the wreckage." Tolu chirped happily, climbing onto her chest. The creature's fur glowed brilliant blue once more. Elira's fingers trembled as she stroked his head, feeling their connection strong and vibrant. Something wasn't right. She had given her life force yet. Here she was, alive. "You saved him," she said, confusion evident in her voice. "I saved you both," Riker corrected, checking a scanner. "Though your little friend there refused to leave your side, even tried to bite me when I separated you for treatment." Elira's lips curved into a weak smile. "His name is Tolu. He's bonded to me." She hesitated, studying the human's face. "Why did you help us, your kind and mine?" Riker's movements paused, his eyes meeting hers. "I'm not sure I can explain it," he admitted. "Something told me I had to." Tolu chirped, climbing onto Riker's arm. The creature's intentions clear to Elira. "He wants to connect with you," she explained. He can share thoughts, feelings to thank you properly. Uncertainty crossed Riker's face before he nodded. Tolu pressed his small head against the human's temple. The connection forming between them, Elira watched as Riker's expression shifted from surprise to wonder. "That's remarkable," he whispered when Tolu finished returning to Elira's side. "I felt everything." "It's how my people truly communicate," she explained. "Words are limited. Feelings are true." Riker helped her sit up, adjusting pillows behind her back. His proximity sent an unexpected warmth through her core. Their fingers brushed briefly the contact, sending a jolt of awareness through her senses. "The storm's still raging," he said, moving to a small cooking unit. "We're safe here, but communications are down. You need to eat to regain your strength." He prepared a simple meal, explaining each unfamiliar food as he worked. His movements efficient, yet somehow graceful for one his size. Elira found herself watching him with growing curiosity. "Why were you out there alone?" he asked, setting the food before her. "I was fleeing the southern settlement," she replied. "Raiders came looking for healing crystals. They didn't care who stood in their way." His jaw tightened. "Not all humans are like that." "I know," she said softly. "One carried me through a blizzard." Something shifted between them in that moment. A boundary crossed, a possibility opened. Riker's hand moved across the table hesitantly before covering hers, his skin warmer than her own, his touch sending another wave of that strange warmth through her body. Tolu purred contentedly, sensing the emotions flowing between them. "Rest now," Riker said, voice gentler. "Then before tomorrow we figure out what comes next." As sleep reclaimed her, Elira realized something profound. The final gift hadn't been wasted. Her life force had drawn this human to her, a connection she never imagined possible, yet felt somehow inevitable. Outside, the storm began to subside, twin moons. Days passed in the small bunker, each one bringing Elira's strength back bit by bit. The world outside remained blanketed in snow, but the violent storms had subsided, revealing a landscape, transformed, beautiful in its stark simplicity. Riker ventured out for brief reconnaissance, returning with news that patrols had moved elsewhere. Their isolation complete but temporary. In close quarters they learned each other's rhythms, the careful dance of two beings from different worlds. Elira watched fascinated as Riker maintained his weapons with methodical precision, his hands capable of both destruction and the gentlest care when changing her bandages. "Your people believe we came to conquer," he said one evening as they shared a meal. "Many did, but some of us were sent to understand, to find common ground." "And which were you?" she asked, studying his face in the soft light. He considered the question. "I was a soldier following orders until I wasn't." Tolu moved between them, the creature now comfortable with both. His fur glowed softly as he settled in Riker's lap, a previously unimaginable sight. The human's fingers stroked the blue fur with genuine affection. "He trusts you completely," Elira observed. "He senses what I've come to know. You have a good heart, Riker Hale." Something unspoken passed between them. Their eyes meeting, holding, the distance between their chairs suddenly too great. That night, as Elira dreamed of home, Tolu's distressed chirping woke her. Riker thrashed in his sleep, trapped in nightmares, his face contorted in silent anguish. Without hesitation, she moved to his side, placing her violet palm against his cheek. "Shh," she whispered. "You're not alone." His eyes opened, finding hers in the darkness. His breathing ragged, his body tense. "I was back there," he said, voice rough. "The day we took the Eastern Temple. So many of your people." "I know," she responded. Her fingers traced the lines of his face, mapping his features in the dim light. "I was there too, healing who I could." The realization that they had been on the same battlefield, different sides of the same moment in history, hung between them. "How can you even look at me?" he asked. "Answer." She took his hand, placing it over her heart, letting him feel its rhythm. The past lives in memory, she said, but we live now in this moment. Tolu climbed between them, creating a bridge. The creature's empathic abilities opened a channel. Riker gasped as Elira allowed him to feel what was in her heart. No judgment, no hatred, only growing affection, fascination, desire. His fingers tentatively traced the markings along her temple, down her neck, following the patterns that spiraled across her collarbone. Her skin shimmered faintly at his touch, responding to emotions he couldn't hide. Elira. Her name on his lips was both question and answer. Their first kiss was hesitant. Two worlds meeting. Bodies different yet responding to the same ancient call. His arms encircled her waist, drawing her closer, her fingers threading through his hair, the warmth between them building into something beautiful and unexpected. Later they stood outside the bunker, wrapped in thermal blankets, Tolu perched on Riker's shoulder. The night sky cleared, revealing Velmyra's twin moons moving into rare alignment, their light painting the snow-covered landscape in shades of silver and blue. The convergence, Elira whispered. My people believe it's when paths that were separate become one, when new beginnings are blessed by the ancestors. Is that what we are? Riker asked, his arm secure around her waist. A new beginning? She turned to face him, her violet fingers tracing the strong line of his jaw. We are what we choose to be. The soldier who defied orders, the healer who survived. The new path between worlds. The moons aligned perfectly overhead, bathing them in celestial light. Tolu chirped happily, his fur reflecting the glow, his empathic field, enveloping them both, creating a space where differences melted away, where understanding flowed freely. My transmission got through, Riker said. A diplomatic vessel is coming in 3 days. And then, they're offering sanctuary to remaining Velmyrans. He explained, I've requested assignment as cultural liaison. Her eyes widened with understanding. You're coming with me. His answer was another kiss, deeper than before, filled with promise. As the twin moons shone overhead, casting their joined shadows across the snow, two beings from distant worlds embraced the future they would build together. The final gift had not been an ending after all, but a beginning, a breath of starlight guiding two souls to an unexpected destiny. Two worlds once at war, now united in the most profound way possible, through understanding, through choice. Through love. Tolu's happy chirp seemed to say what they both knew. The journey ahead would not be easy, peace never was, but in each other, they had found something worth fighting for, something worth living for beneath Velmyra's twin moons.